of so many hostilities.
Uh-huh.
We see that there are terrorists who are brutally murdering people. There are people who have lost their family members because of terrorist attack.
Yeah.
So how is it easy for them to develop compassion for the terrorist?
Okay.
And my another question is like, should in the name of giving forgiveness, should these terrorists be left? Do they need to be punished or not? Because anyway, if you don't punish them, they are harming others. I'm just talking in a practical level.
Okay. We talked about this in a session that you didn't come to.
Possible.
So, but anyway, the question is this. We see a lot of people in the world harming each other, okay? Let's say terrorists, who then, kill people, and then their families and so forth, undergo a lot of suffering. So how can the family then come to forgive them, right? And I'm not saying it's easy, but just what we did there, the thinking of it. Sorry, that was one question. Another part of that question was, should then we just let them go and not punish them? Shouldn't they be punished? Okay? So here, see, this thought of punishing criminals, right, versus preventing them from committing further harm to themselves and others, So I think that now when we start talking in the Buddhist context about the criminal justice system, it's perfectly fine to, if people pose a risk to society and they're going to harm others, to then, put them away from society, But they should be given the tools to work on the afflictive emotions, so that they no longer become troublesome for society, right? What often happens, because our criminal justice system is kind of predicated on this thought of getting retribution and punishing them, eye for an eye, that in the jails, there's no development, there's no transformation, and actually they just become more hardened as criminals. They get more criminal connections. And then when they go out, the rate of, returning to crime and getting arrested again in the US is like, overwhelming majority of criminals go back into jail. Because they don't have the tools to do anything else, right? But anyway, when I was talking with this person, for me it was very effective thinking in this way, right? Like, don't, because this is what, the Bodhisattva is like, I'm going to lead all sentient beings from to highest enlightenment, right? So that's kind of like top down. But if you do it from the bottom up, this enemy that has harmed you, you don't want them to harm anyone else. You only want them to do most beneficial for others. Then you think about it like from the ground up. Then the conclusion is, oh yes, you also want them to become Buddha. Then they won't cause any more trouble, right? Isn't it? So, I very much, his name was Tom, I very much appreciated our interaction, because I learn a lot actually from, interacting with people and seeing what kind of questions they have, the things that they are on their mind, Okay, so anyway, oh yes, so here in the steps for equalizing and exchanging self for others, or Tonglen, it is to first develop equanimity, okay? And those are the ways to do it in this context. And then thinking about all the faults of self-cherishing, okay? So, in the traditional text, there's so much. If you can think of like all the negative, the negativities that we've created, like when we steal from someone else, is because we were cherishing ourselves more than the victim. All these negative actions, right? We kill the mosquito. Why? We cherish not having that little itch more than the mosquito's life, right? We cheat on our partners because we want that that pleasure for us, you know. So everything under the sun, right? You can think of, do think of, yeah. And then the benefits of cherishing others, okay? So here, actually, Shantideva says a very nice summation. He says, what need is there for many words? Childish beings work only for their own benefit, while the able ones or the Buddhas work only for the benefit of others. And look at the difference between the two. Okay. So on one almost paradoxical level, right? See, we working, kind of serving our self-cherishing mind, always interested in our own happiness, only working for our own happiness, we've let that strategy run the show from beginningless lifetimes to the present. Okay? So now, how has that strategy worked out for us? Have we received the happiness that we thought we were going to get? No way. But then look at the Buddhas, who, instead of cherishing the self, then totally shifted the orientation to cherishing others. Okay? Then, they're actually the ones that received or obtained the highest benefit for themselves. Amazing. So that's why Shantideva says, there's not a need for a lot of words. Just look at the situation where we find ourselves in, and look at the situation the Buddhists found themselves in. Then it becomes very clear that cherishing others is, as we were saying, right, the smart selfish. Yeah. The best way to cherish ourselves is to cherish others. Or now, in more recent times, as long as the Dalai Lama says, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Yeah? So, you see, even on a worldly level, let's forget about liberation, enlightenment, past, future lives, right? Even on a worldly level, the compassionate people, then people want to be with nice people, isn't it? Right? People will help nice people on a worldly level, Of course, don't think I'm going to be nice so people help me. But I'm just saying, here we're reflecting on the benefits of just being a good human being, living with a good heart. Yeah? Okay. So we meditated on the benefits of, faults of cherishing ourselves, the benefit of others. Yeah? The benefit of cherishing others. Okay. Now, the actual Tonglen then comes in, we do it conjoined with the breath. Okay? So the preliminaries is considering the faults of cherishing ourselves, the benefits of cherishing others, then we're actually going to do it. Okay? So we can visualize those, the friend, enemy, stranger, merely labeled friend, enemy, stranger in the space in front. Or we could do it with everyone here in the room. But then on the breath, as we breathe in, we consider, may all the suffering and causes of suffering of all sentient beings now ripen on me. Then we visualize, I think we're all friends here, right? Let's do it with this group of people here in the room. Nice. is tangible. That's another thing I like saying, because you see, sometimes, and why we started with 3 the other day too, if we just start with like all sentient beings, it's very nebulous, right? We're all sentient beings, you know? And then, you know, we meditate. Rebecca, why do you have to go so early? Was it something I said?
No, not at all. Somewhere to go. Sorry, Venerable.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll offer these later,
Okay.
but it was nice to see you again. Please be well.
Yes, Venerable.
Please watch the videos and meditate on bodhicitta.
Will do.
Okay? Nice, okay.
Yep.
Get out of here. Okay, so anyway, we have to make it tangible, because if we just at the beginning meditate on all sentient beings, it can give us a deceptive kind of thought that we're doing it well, because it's like all sentient beings, oh yes, may all of them be happy, yes, nice, good, right? But if you make it tangible, yeah, to the person that you know, annoyed us or ripped us off or worse, yeah, and we can't develop compassion for that one, you know, then there's no all sentient beings. Yeah. So in a similar way, we can do it with a small group, all of us together. I think it's also good because, you know, the Sangha, you know, all you guys who come to this center, yeah, then we should be supporting each other and loving each other and being compassionate with each other. Because if we can't do that here in this center, you know, when we all have, you know, similar goals, you guys are all reasonably nice people, except for, not good. If we can't do it amongst ourselves, then what hope is there really in the larger scheme of things, right? Anyway, so how we do that, then we visualize all of the suffering, you know, illness, depression, all these things, undesirable things that everyone here in the room has experienced, is experiencing, will experience. We visualize that coming in the form of black smoke. Breathe it in, okay? And then at our hearts, we visualize that self-cherishing mind, the mind thinking I'm number one. We visualize it like a ball, black ball, you know, at our hearts. And then that suffering of others we take in, it acts like a nuclear bomb, you know, and just kind of obliterates it. Yeah, obliterates that at our hearts. Then as we breathe out, all of our merit, all of our happiness, the causes of happiness and so forth, it then sends out to the others, ripens on them, and is sent out in the form of white light to them. And we make charity of all of our happiness, all of our good karma. That ripens then on others, and they achieve lasting happiness and well-being. And then we do like this on the breath. Okay? So let's do. Some of you are already doing, so let's be quiet. Are there any questions about that process? Okay.
Do you get the disease?
Very nice,
Did you
Rita.
get it?
Very nice.
No, I have a lot of fears about this.
Yes, okay. Thank you. So, Rita, now let's say the answer is yes. You will get ill. But everyone else in the room, you'll take away their illness forever. So everyone else in the room will no longer get ill for the rest of their lives, but you will get it. Now, would you still engage in this meditation?
No.
Thank you for your honesty. Okay? So this, now let's continue. let's say you could take on the illness of all the people here in Delhi. They would all be free from illness, but you would get, let's say, yeah, cancer, dengue, all these things. Would you do that? All the people in Delhi.
If I die, how will I get enlightenment? Have a precious human life.
Yes.
Why shouldn't they suffer out their karma?
Okay.
I'm willing to pray for them.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, Rita. I really appreciate the honesty, your honesty. Because actually, if this is why it was a secret, right? This practice. Actually, if we're not freaked out about it, and this fear doesn't come, you know, because so many people, I know this person down in Bangalore. Oops. He's like, oh yeah, Tonglen, yeah, so easy. Yeah, everyone's cancer. Yeah, give it to me. You know, AIDS. Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, let's do it, right? It's not. They're not actually doing it. We should be like, oh, because our self-cherishing mind is strong now. If we don't have that thought that Rita's having, it hasn't touched us actually. We should be like, oh, wait a minute. Then when that mind arises, actually, it's very precious, Rita, because that's the self-cherishing thought right there. In you. That's actually your real enemy. Okay? That's actually your real enemy now. But, you know, before you identify the real enemy, then, see, you need to identify that real enemy, otherwise the meditation won't hurt it. You know? So it's very good. Otherwise, we think we're meditating on Tonglen. We think we're harming the self-cherishing mind, but we're not. And in fact, it can even be worse, because then we think we're such a great, compassionate Tonglen practitioner. And like, yeah, oh, no problem. Yeah, everyone's cancer, no problem. Give it to me. Yeah? Does that happen? So thank you. But that's the thing. We have to, if we had more time, we could talk about this more, like, you know, what are those trade-offs, right? If you think about that next time, you know, how do you say, if you could take away all the sentient beings suffering in this room and it ripen on you, you wouldn't, clear, right? Then what about Delhi? What about 10 million? Okay? What about 100 million? What about all the humans in India? Okay, where's your limit? All sentient beings in the whole universe, 10 directions. If you could eliminate all the illness in the whole universe and it ripen on you, would you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's clear. Okay, then we have some upper limit, right? Okay, now what about Milky Way galaxy? Anyway, think like this. You know, it's very informative, I believe.